You've bought yourself a makeup box, but it's empty. What do you put inside? You want to be a makeup artist now, you want to dabble in makeup, but you have no idea where to start. What should I possibly buy first? So I would say stop. So you need to determine, number one, before even starting to buy products for your kids, what is your target market? Who are you planning to do makeup on? Right. If you're not sure and you just want to do makeup on everybody, then so be it. Then buy a little bit of everything. That's the only way to do it. And as you start doing makeup, you're going to realize what you need, unfortunately. But for now, I'm going to show you what I personally would have as an essentials in my makeup kit. I've laid everything out here for you, and I want to start as we build a face. We are going to start with your color correctors. So we have spoken about it before, but the two predominant color correctors I would have in my kit would be the orange and the green. The orange neutralizes blue and the green neutralizes red. So those are the two must-haves I would start with in my kits. Remember, we're building the face. So from the bottom layer of the skin to the top, that's how I am letting you guys know what to buy, right? Because there's a lot to cover. So orange and green color corrector is your start. Then I would move on to foundations. So here is Crayolan. These are tester palettes. So this one here is a cream one, and this is for light skins. Then you have the medium one. So for Hispanic and Indian skins or Oriental skins. So there's your light and there's your medium. And then you would have a dark tester palette. So those are the first three I would suggest you buy. Buy the tester palettes. Crayolan is fantastic with this. So one of those colors will probably do 5 or 6 faces. A lot of people would go, oh my goodness, with that little bit of foundation, I'm only going to do one face and then I'm done. No, you'll be surprised. Professional makeup is very concentrated. So you would easily get 5 or 6 faces out of these. So I would suggest you get the dark one, the medium one, and the light one. And then based on that, you would determine which colors you use the most of. And then you can buy the bigger versions of those. Otherwise, if you're not a Crayolan fan, you can go for Graftobian. It's another professional make. And over here, I've got different ones as well. So there's 3 different ones. You've got the cool, the warm, and the neutral skin tone. So if you're not a Crayolan fan, go for Graftobian. But once again, I would go for the tester versions where you have 16 colors or 15 colors at one go. And then you can see based on this, which are the colors that you use the most of, and then expand on that. So next we move on to powder. Yeah, we have a light powder, then we have an orange tinged powder, and then a darker powder. So once again, it depends what your clientele will be. The same as the foundations. Is it going to be more whiter people, more oriental people, darker people? So these 3 powders are all Crayolan powders. So the lighter one is called P5, the middle one is called TL5, and this last dark one is called TL13. Please, you will never use the middle one, the TL5 on its own. It will make somebody look too orange. So you would generally mix these two. So if the P5 is too light for somebody, you would add a little bit of the TL5 in it just to warm it up. But please don't ever use the TL5 on its own. It'll make somebody look like a carrot. And then obviously on a darker skin, you would use the TL13. Plus there's another darker one by Crayolan called P8. But it just depends what your clientele is. You know, the P8 is quite darker. So, but I would just say by having these 3, these are the basic powders you would possibly need. But what I also want to just tell you, whatever foundation you're planning to use, in my case I use Crayolan, please use the Crayolan powders to go with it. That is how the makeup is designed. Please don't use Graftobian foundation and use Crayolan powders with it. It doesn't work that way because the staying and the setting powder just doesn't work the same. So our makeup box is still empty and we've spoken about a few products. So how about we recap and put them in the box? So the first thing we spoke about is your color correctors. So the green and the orange. So let's pop those in the box. Then we spoke about your foundations. Remember your light, your medium and your dark foundations. So these are the tester ones, light, medium and dark. Let's pop them in the box. Those were the Corrector ones, and these are the Graftobian ones. And then we had our powders. In the box it goes. All right, the next thing I'd like to talk about, now we've done the color correctors, we've done the foundation, and we've done the powder. Our face is set, it's a perfect blank canvas. Let's move on to eyes. So I would suggest that you have the most basic neutral palette to start off with, because guaranteed that majority of the makeup you're going to start off doing would be your more natural makeup. I'm sure you're not going to start doing glam and ramp and stage and fashion shoot type of makeups. You're probably going to start doing more basic, nude, natural type of makeups. So here is a palette, once again from Corrector. And please remember, my products have been used. This is my actual products I use. So you'll see holes in them. But this would be a very basic, neutral wedding palette, if I could put it that way. So you are looking for colors like this. You have your nudes and your golds. You have your whites, your grays, your blacks. You have your blushers, and then just a bit of fun colors in between. So this would be a basic, standard, easy to go to eyeshadow palette. Once you start getting a little bit more fancy and you have that extra cash, you could actually put a blusher palette together for yourself. Crayolin's blush and eyeshadows double up. Doesn't matter if you use eyeshadow for blush or blush for eyeshadow, it doubles up. And this is a palette I put together, which I can use for eyeshadows, but I use for blush as well. For me, it's just a nice, easy go-to. All my blusher colors for every skin type is here. Because obviously for your lighter skins, you'd use your lighter blush. And then the darker your skin goes, the darker your blush would go for that said person. If you don't want to use Corrector, obviously most of my stuff is Corrector. If you don't want to use Corrector, Urban Decay has two beautiful palettes as well. It's the Naked 2 and the Naked 3 range. And these are ideal for weddings and your natural nude makeups. So this is an option as well. But basically the reason I'm showing you these colors is purely to give you an idea of what colors you're looking for and what colors to source for nude, natural, beautiful makeup. Remember this, we're starting out, so we just want the nude, more natural colors in our kits. Right, one day when we get more fancy and start doing ramp and exotic makeup, our color range will increase. So right, let's pop the eyeshadows in the box. So the next thing let's talk about is lips. So you would basically only need 3 lip liners. So it's a very old school mentality that every lipstick color that you wear should have a matching lip liner. No, I would say you would just need a nude, a darker one, and a red. Red is the only lipstick that you need to have a red lip liner with. The softer, more nudie colors, you can get away with just a basic nude lip liner. And then your medium to dark colors, you use the darker lip liner. But red is the only one that has to be used, red on red. All right. So these are the only 3 lip liners I would suggest. And then lipsticks. So once again, it doesn't matter if you want to have individual lipsticks or if you want to build a palette, the choice is yours. But this is Graftobian's lip palette, and I would suggest something like this. The color lines on this, it's from nude to your mediums to your reds and your browns, like a little bit of everything is in a palette like this. And this is the color range that you're looking for a startup kit. So if you don't want to buy a palette and you prefer just to buy your single lipsticks, you are more than welcome to do that. I just struggle a little bit with working with a whole bunch of loose lipsticks because I feel like I need to take the lids off. unscrew, see what color it is, and I just find it's very time consuming. So what I have done, you can do it if you want to, it's your choice, because I know getting lipstick palettes isn't as easy as just like that. You buy your individual lipsticks, and then you could go to a haberdashery store or a sewing store, and you get these little containers which flip open, and you can actually decant your lipstick in here, because right now you have quite a few lipsticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 lipsticks in one hand, opposed to 8 individual lipsticks and having to take those lids off and seeing what color is what. This is one of the containers I use. The other container I use comes in a little box, and it's little stackable containers that screw into each other. So here I've already started my collection, and how it works is it literally unscrews. I've decanted my lipstick in there, and then I screw it back on, and then I build my collection up like that. Because right now, yeah, we have 5 colors in one hand, opposed to 5 individual lipstick containers. So we finished with lipsticks, but what is lipstick without a bit of lip gloss to it? So there are so many different color lip glosses, but I've got 6 go-to colors. So the first one is obviously our see-through one. Plain Jane, normal see-through, don't want to change the lipstick color. The next one would be a nude. These are Avon ones. That's a Corrector, that's an Avon. So we have a nude one, then we have a light pink one, then we have a darker pink and a darker one. And then last one would be a red. Good old faithful red. So these are the 6 that I would suggest that you have in your kit. Instead of having gazillions and gazillions of colors, just go for these 6. Remember, we're starting out. These 6 will be the only ones you would need for now. So now we've covered quite a bit of the face, but let us not forget our mascara. You cannot live without your mascara. So remember, this is a startup kit. You know, if you want to be fancy and add lashes and all that in, but this is basics, we're building up. So a good mascara, please don't buy the most expensive mascara, because you can only keep mascara for X amount of time, which we'll talk about in one of the other lessons where we talk about the longevity of makeup products. So just a good, I use Fibergenics. It's a silicone-based, mascara. I prefer it because it doesn't crumble on your face. So I use Fibergenics that I import from the UK. So mascara is a go-to, and don't forget, with mascara we need disposable mascara ones for hygiene purposes. So these 2 are really, really important. So let's pop these in the box along with the other products. So let's put our eyeshadows in here, our lipsticks, our lip glosses, and our lip liners. The box is finally getting full. We have all the items, basic items, that we apply on the face. But don't forget that we need tools to actually apply these items on our face with. So you would need to get yourself some wedges. This is Corrector's pink sponge. It comes in a circle, and then I cut it in 2 because I like to have that edge there to get under the eye and just have more control of it. I am not a fan, that's my personal opinion, I'm not a fan of the old school white latex sponges. I just find them very messy, and they don't pick up the product properly. And whereas these, you can as well wash very easy. Whereas the old white latex ones, unless you just want to throw them away, I wouldn't bother spending time and energy trying to wash them. So besides wedges, what else do we need? We need brushes. Very, very, very important. Even you might start out with like the cheapest brushes and then build your brush set up, it's fine, but we have to have brushes. We can't use our fingers to apply eyeshadow now, can we? All right, so now we have like the bare essentials, the basics that we need for our kit. But there's a few other items that are regarded as basics as well. So for instance, some lip ice or lip balm or chapstick. This is really important, and it's going to be a lifesaver because you never know who you're going to encounter who might have some dry lips and they really need some saving grace with this. So always please have some lip balm or chapstick. This one specifically is the Blistex one. It's the DCT, and it's just really fantastic. So you definitely have to pop this in your box. Along with that, please don't forget a sharpener. You never know when you might need to sharpen your pencils. In the box we go, a set of tweezers, a scissor, and our earbuds, and some tissues. Right, sounds silly, sounds obvious, but people forget these items. So please don't forget to pop these in your box as well. All right, now if you want to be a little bit more extravagant, you can add in some loose pigment powder and some bronzers. But the box as it is now, this is your basic essential box, right? This is your first aid kit. But if you want to get a little bit fancy, you can get some bronzers. So here's a lighter one and a darker one. These are always handy to have just to add some glow to somebody's face. But like I said, these aren't essentials. This is just nice to haves. You know, you add this on at a later stage when you can afford to. Right, so we'll pop them next to the box because they're not essentials right now. And then I would also suggest in the future maybe getting yourself some loose pigment powder. So once again, this is Crayolan, and they're called satin powder, but each range calls their loose pigment powder something else. So they might be called sparkles, might be called glitter powder, but basically I'm going to show you a bigger version of this. If it looks like loose pigments and very dense, that's the right thing. Basically, this is just a bigger version of this. The smaller pots is just more, it's easier to use our brushes with, to pop our brush in that little hole to apply to the eye. Whereas the bigger ones we use for the face and the cheeks. So I'm actually going to show you the potency of pigment powder, loose pigment powder. So this one here is a gold. It's a MAC one. And this one here is a silver one. You will never get this concentration with normal eyeshadow. And this is why we like to use it for those special occasions such as brides and evening makeups. And if you have to MC or host a party, that's when you use these wonderful shimmery colors just to add some pop to your face. So other than that, this is it. There's nothing more than this. This is all you need.